Hello there, and welcome to episode 35 of Ilum Radio. We're your hosts, David Beer and Menace, and with me always is my good pal and cosplayer extraordinaire, Millie. How you doing tonight, Millie?
It's been a very interesting week.
Yeah.
I have specified that in yesterday's episode of Ilum Radio where I talked about that. And there has been some kind of also breaking news that has dropped today as of this recording. So I don't know if we want to talk about that.
Really? I was not aware. I wasn't paying attention.
Ahmed Best posted again, like he posted fan art of his Jedi character on Instagram.
Oh, we are totally linking that down below. If you guys don't see that, please let me know. We're linking that stuff.
Let me grab it real quick. Yeah, he's really loving this character, and we will talk about him when we get there in this episode. We have been saving this conversation since yesterday's episode of Ilum Radio, so stay tuned. Let me grab the Ahmed Best, because he directly posted this himself, so... Other than that, that's the only things I've got.
So
yeah, there we go. Actually, no, I mean, this is Mando related, so I guess I'll drop the character poster link also.
Oh.
Yeah, let me post this in Discord and this.
Things are about to get weird. Ooh.
There you go.
Yep, we have his character poster, which does look really dope.
There's more pictures on his Instagram page also.
So that's fan art. No shit.
That's fan art, and he shared it.
Ah. All right, so that's definitely going to go on the links down below. So tonight, good friends, we are talking about obviously the most recent episode of The Mandalorian. The events that happened in the Mandalorian world and the things we saw, and of course, So yeah, the date tonight is March 28th. It's the eve of the premiere of both The Mandalorian and the last two episodes of the season for Bad Batch.
I mean, we don't know if there's going to be another season. We will find out tomorrow if there is.
I'm sure there's going to be another season of Bad Batch. We would have known by now, unless everyone dies tomorrow.
Don't jinx it. Oh my god, don't jinx it.
But if you want to hear what we talked about and what we thought about next episode and the previous episode, watch episode 34 of Ilum Radio. We talk about the episode of the Bad Batch. But tonight, we are talking about The Foundling, an episode an episode directed by Carl Weathers, and it was pretty dope.
Oh, yeah.
And
Carl Weathers.
And he's directed like two now Mando heavy episodes, like The Siege and then this. So it's pretty cool. What were your thoughts, opening thoughts on this episode, beginning thoughts?
I mean, first of all, I think how this episode opened up was interesting. How I think it started with the Foundlings training outside.
Mm-hmm.
And what's his name? Ragnar? Is that his name?
Yes, the little kid, Ragnar. Yeah.
Yeah. Paz Vizsla's son confirmed, because we kind of all speculated that his helmet paint job looked similar to Paz's paint job, and now that it's confirmed to be Paz's son, it makes a lot of sense. So
it makes you wonder, how did do they leave the helmets on, for when they're making a baby? It's this kid, was this prior before he walked the way?
I don't want to think about it.
I'm just curious. I just, when they're using the bathroom, are they just wearing the helmets? It's these little weird things. It's anywho, yeah. So yeah, we know it's his son, and I loved how it began with them shooting off into the distance and practicing and sparring, training rather, which we really never saw before with these characters, with the Mandalorians. As far as I know, we haven't seen it. I could be wrong. And, you know, we had little baby Grogu playing with rocks, or those little crab rocks, or whatever you want to call them. And I guess, yeah, this episode also confirms that, because we talked about it before, she's converting Grogu into a Mandalorian. Because now it's like he had to train and like do the sparring and fight Ragnar and yeah. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on Grogu becoming a Mando?
We kind of got hints of that way back in like season 2, believe it or not.
True, we got hints of it, but now it's like.
And then we got Grogu with the chainmail in Book of Boba Fett. Now it's actual like confirmation that he's gonna be like a Mandalorian, which begs the question: will he eventually become both, like the, ancient Jedi Mandalorian? You know what I mean?
You think he'll wield the Darksaber and he'll rule Mandalore?
I think so. Like years and years and years down the line, sure.
It's interesting because like I just realized, like, back in the Book of Boba Fett, he literally chose the way of the Mandalore. And
we don't know what happened to Yoda's saber.
Right, because like in the Book of Boba Fett, he had both Yoda's saber,
yeah,
and like the chainmail, and he's like, "It's up to you. You choose." And he's like, "No, I want to be a Mandalorian, or at least go back with Dad and hang out with Dad and do Dad stuff." Yeah, he chose that path. But yeah, it was cool seeing him train, and it was cool seeing Grogu take out Ragnar with like the darts. I thought was pretty funny. Especially when he does like the barrel roll, like a Yoda barrel roll over him, basically. So yeah, and what are your thoughts on the big crate dragon? Well, not the crate dragon, but the big dragon that kind of like popped up in this.
Oh, you mean the giant bird?
Yeah.
Reminded me of a giant bird, which basically was because of how its giant nest was.
Fair. Yeah, fair.
And it was, God, poor Ragnar. He kept getting like eaten or kidnapped by these giant creatures, like a tiny worm.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't even know what this kid has been through, and I feel bad.
What I liked with that scene was like how quickly everyone chased the kid down when the bird came. It was all like all hands on deck. Let's get the kid. And
I was surprised how fast their fuel drained too. Like,
yeah, well,
really,
how they really don't say like how long they were chasing him for. They could be chasing him for like a bit, but no, you're right. Like,
how do they recharge for fuel anyway? Like, there's no gas station in Star Wars where they can like refuel their like tanks like a car. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm sure they possibly had some type of like way of doing it. I mean, fuck, if their armor can repel blaster fire and lightsabers, I'm pretty sure they can figure out a pretty decent way to refuel their stuff. What was interesting though is, or what I thought was cool was they went for their jetpacks. Bo-Katan was like, "Nah, fuck that. I'm in my ship. I'm following this motherfucker." Like, she just jumped right into it and just went. And she was like gone.
So Bo-Katan was smart because she had a ship and that has more fuel than a jetpack, so.
And she was also smart because, like, I was thinking about it, but I'm like, if she's in a ship, why not just, I don't know, chase it all the way down and like fire on it and take it out? But then that would have killed the foundling.
That was the argument that Paz had, that don't shoot it, it'll kill the kid, no matter what.
How many times do you think that's happened to them? Because they did mention it's happened before. Like, it just comes out and takes younglings.
I don't know, man. I don't want to... I mean, the fact that we don't even see a lot of them is actually kind of concerning.
We saw one helmet in there. That was about it. So where the rest of them went, yeah.
Exactly.
And also, I mean, it's just me having semantics, but how'd they move the forge into that cave that they're in? Because, like...
Yeah. I mean, did they just build a new one?
Right? Like, or did they just move it from, like, when it was on Navarro?
Now they must have built it, because there's no way they would have moved that whole equipment thing. I think the armor has more, like, skill than we thought. I think she built all that herself. And keep in mind, this is also, like, a big there's kind of a time skip between the events in this season and the events of the last season and the season before that.
True.
That must have took years to build anyway, so...
True. They probably had to rebuild their whole base of operations and things. Fair.
Yeah, similar to Rebel bases.
So, because there's technically this episode
That's
has
an analogy.
3 acts, or 2 different parts altogether. Which did you like better? Them chasing the kid and then Bo-Katan becoming part of the way even more, or our finally Grogu reveal of who saved him and the flashback to Order 66?
I'm gonna be really biased here. The Grogu flashback scene, the entirety of that scene, like I got more excited during that than sadly during the other portion.
Yeah, I hate to agree, because obviously if you just watch this, you can tell I'm biased too, because our graphic is our boy kind of riding on a speeder with Grogu, like the
also
art.
I have these 2 in the background, so
but yeah, let's talk about it. So
yeah, let's just get into it.
So
Ahmed Best is back. Oh my god,
dude, and he looks okay. So it is confirmed that he is the character that he played, like, in the Jedi training stuff, correct? Like, that's
Jedi Temple Challenge. Yes,
so that is confirmed. Okay.
Which means that this character is related to that one background character Ahmed Best played in Attack of the Clones.
Really?
Yep.
So wait.
Look him up. It's confirmed. Twins?
Hold up.
Similar to the Jedi and Sith characters, twin characters in man, I'm going deep into this rabbit hole now.
Kelleran Beck, nicknamed the Sabered Hand, was a human male Jedi Master who served in the Jedi Order. He was often assisted by the protocol droid AD-3 and astromech droid LX-R5 and served aboard the starship Athelia. During the siege of the Jedi Temple, Beck successfully escaped the temple with the aid of sympathetic Royal Naboo security forces, which I really want to talk about that. Security forces members.
Yeah. Job.
Fleeing Coruscant with young Grogu. Biography.
Jar Jar question mark?
I want to say yes, but I want to say no at the same time. Because...
Continue, because in the behind the scenes thing, it'll mention that he has a relation to a certain strong character in Attack of the Clones.
Yep, I see it. Behind the scenes, Kelleran Beck is a character created for Star Wars Jedi Temple Challenge. He is portrayed by Ahmed Best, who also portrayed Jar Jar Binks. In an interview with Anthony Carboni on the Star Wars show, Best stated that the showrunners Steve Blank and Scott Bromley and executive producers Christine Bebb and Mickey Caprofi had given him considerable flexibility in developing Kelleran Beck's histories, mannerisms, and even lightsaber color. That is pretty dope. Best confirmed that Beck was related to Ahmed Beck, whom he had portrayed in Star Wars Attack of the Clones, though no canonical source has confirmed the relation. I don't know.
And look at his Wikipedia. It's a really interesting character also, like his own separate one.
Ahmed Beck was a male human. He was present in the Outlander Club on Coruscant, conversing with Veda and Purple Twi'lek when Jedi Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker showed up in pursuit of the changeling assassin Zam Wesell. Mech Beck was... He
is Coruscant. They're both on Coruscant.
That's
at
true.
some point.
By the time Kenobi and Skywalker were assisting Wessel at the back of the establishment, Med Beck and Faethoni were patrolling the second floor of the Outlander Conjuring. That is
the other
nuts.
character is played by Anthony Daniels, by the way.
Right.
So I don't know if you knew that. So
they're So they are related. Makes you wonder if he because so let's get into it. Like as much as I love talking about the Mandalorians and them chasing like the big bird, this is a very important part of the story. One, I am really glad that the Jedi who saved Grogu wasn't a well-known famous Jedi. You know what I mean?
Yes, I agree.
I'm really glad. There's only one Jedi I would have been okay with live action. That would have been Quinlan Vos. That's the only one.
Hey, I mean, listen. Quinlan Vos and Kelleran Beck buddy cop. Please?
They could.
Please?
They could.
Like, imagine them both trying to save a Jedi from Order 66. Like, because, okay, now we're going to get into Kenobi a little bit because I feel like this will connect.
Yeah, I agree.
Underground, like, thing that they've established in Kenobi. And that Quinlan Vos is confirmed to be directly involved with, so helping Jedi, like being hiding. So I hope Coloring Beck is part of that system, that network. I should say that network.
I don't see so.
And what's also interesting that Kelleran Beck has a green and a blue saber in the show, and has two sabers, but in Jedi Temple Challenge, it was implied that he has a purple lightsaber inspired by Mace Windu, which is an interesting point. Because we don't know exactly when, like, I mean, I don't think it matters when Jedi Temple Challenge takes place in the Star Wars timeline, but it's interesting that at some point, for some reason, they've decided to switch from purple lightsaber to a green and blue.
So do we see the purple lightsaber in the Jedi Temple Challenge or no?
No, but Ahmed Best has confirmed that Kelleran Beck does have a purple lightsaber, and we do actually see a hilt, and it's basically the Galaxy's
Edge
Doc Ondar saber hilt.
Okay.
That you can get. Like, there is a picture of it, and he has said that it is purple.
So he's the sabered hand.
Sabered hand.
He kicks ass with the saber, as we saw, because he was very formidable. Because in the beginning of this whole flashback sequence, it was like a handful of clones, like 4 or 5 clones that took out 4 Jedi. And Kelleran Beck here, he was able to hold off against like a dozen, if not more, before him and Grogu escaped, which means he is very formidable. But it seems like, I don't know, this is how I took it. He knew it was coming. Because how he knew it was coming, I don't know. Maybe there was like a delay between when Order 66 was basically ordered, and then like when they started marching on the Jedi Temple. I'm sure there was some type of delay, but he knew it was coming because he was ready to go, and he already had like their Naboo, the ship, ready to go.
Like a little costume analysis here that I don't know if it's related to like his backstory, but like if you like look at his like tunic collars, like it has some like interesting designs on that, and we've never seen anything on those type of Jedi costumes in canons. This is like it's similar to what we kind of see on the tabards for like the Jedi librarians.
Yes,
the
I
Jedi
agree.
archivists. He was an archivist before.
Maybe that's what he
just happened to be like in the right place at the right time to rescue Grogu.
Or maybe that's like what the trainers wear, like the teachers of the lightsaber.
Or
Maybe, I don't know. Like,
maybe
because also we've never. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I almost
because
said,
his sleeves are similar to the Sandrilla Starline Jedi training robes.
yeah.
That you see. So it could be a Jedi training outfit that he wears.
That's what I'm thinking, because like it's a very. I mean, obviously you can see it like in the screen. It's a very special looking like on the tunic, and on both of them, on the outer tunic and inner tunic.
Poster too, you get a better look also.
But I think because you're right. The only ones who do have a different look to their costume are the archivists or the librarians, because they have like the yansa or whatever it's called, like on their tabards and like their obi. So
I hope a visual guide drops for this and you get like an explanation.
I know. It has to mean rank. Like for instance, the temple guards are completely different from the rest of the Jedi. And they have markings on their masks, and you know it's a temple guard when you look at them. I'm assuming it's the same with him. He's a trainer. He teaches the Padawans how to use a lightsaber. That probably means master duelist or God knows what. And it shows he took on a bunch of freaking clones. But yeah, like I think he somehow knew, because that takes a lot of playing to have this ready to go. And when he got to the Naboo starfighter or the Naboo ship, the guards on the inside, the guys who were guarding it, they were like Kelleran Beck. Like they were almost like they didn't know who he was. They're just asking if he was Kelleran Beck. So he planned it with someone. They knew it was going to happen somehow. My question is, how did he know? And some fans are speculating that because Ahmed Best is already in this, and I think you're going to bring it up also, that Ahmed Best is probably going to reprise the role of Jar Jar Binks, and Jar Jar Binks knew about Order 66 and set this all up.
If that is true and we see Jar Jar again, I think the internet will break.
Or
the internet will break.
Or because it doesn't say where Kelleran Beck is from, what if him and his brother are from Naboo? And it's his brother who helps set all this up and get the ship ready and things. It's a stretch.
Maybe.
It's a stretch. It's a reach. But I'm wondering if that's the case with all of this, you know?
And we don't know if him and his brother even get along. We just know that they're somehow related.
Right.
That's it.
And we don't even know where they're from. They could easily be from Naboo. I'm assuming, because, like, it's definitely not Padme he talked to set this up. I'm assuming it's not. It's got to be someone from Naboo, and it's either Padme, which is not, or
Jar Jar.
Jar Jar.
Jar Jar sounds more likely.
Right? I think so.
Because maybe he overheard something from Palpatine. Maybe. He was like with him.
Maybe. Because like.
So if you remember in the prequels, he was with Palpatine a lot, like especially when he was like with the Senate and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Jar Jar's more important than we think, guys.
And also, the people on Coruscant didn't even know about Order 66. There's no reason for them to know, because there's no armies on Coruscant. Right. And the Jedi Temple was attacked. That was it. There were no Jedi that were killed.
So, when he mentioned his friends, who are his friends? Is it the droids that we mentioned earlier?
It's gotta be.
Was he in Jedi Temple Challenge?
Ooh, maybe. Yeah. AD3 National Metroid LXR5, maybe. Hang on.
I tweeted about this like when it first came out. Like I was like, "Ooh, maybe it's about them."
Was a protocol droid
Or maybe he's friends with Jar Jar.
83 was a protocol droid that
wow.
served as the companion of the Jedi Master Kelleran Beck alongside the astromech droid LXR5. 83 was a good friend of Beck and possessed a sense of humor. While the two were on good terms, 83 was envious of Beck's force powers due to lacking them as a droid. But
Maybe he doesn't train like those kind like if it has loose canon where it's like, oh, he's Lauren Beck is training these new Padawans like after Order 66 and he has these droids companion because we don't see them on screen obviously in Coruscant.
right,
And in the show they're on a completely different new planet. So
right.
like he's on Coruscant, so that won't make any sense unless he's like going back and forth, you know what I mean?
I would assume
He would be training the Padawans on Coruscant, not the other planet in the show.
I would assume. Let's say the show itself is canon, right? Let's just say it is, just for the sake of the argument, because Kelleran Beck is not canon. Let's assume that the show takes place, the Jedi Temple Challenge takes place before the Clone Wars. Because then they would train these Padawans on another planet. They wouldn't train them on... They would train them whatever planet they were close to when they got taken in.
True.
They wouldn't be training them on Coruscant. Everyone came back to Coruscant during the Clone Wars. Everyone trained on Coruscant during the Clone Wars. But when there was no Clone Wars, they trained all over the galaxy. So let's assume that this all takes place, the Jedi Temple Challenge takes place before the Clone Wars.
Right. But okay, so here's an interesting costuming tidbit that I found really interesting. So the Jedi Temple Challenge kids costumes is the exact same as the Padawan that wears the like Jedi train okay, let me Jesus, this is going to be some deep obscure Star Wars lore that because this okay so that there is a Disney Hollywood Studios and Disneyland Star Wars Jedi training show that had a Padawan and this supposedly takes place like post Return of the Jedi because allegedly also sequel trilogy feature stuff also because Kylo Ren shows up as like a vision of some sort. It's a very, very odd. Oh god. Jedi training Disney World. Okay, so it doesn't happen anymore, but these costumes is the exact same as the Padawan character. Okay, Nedris, there we go. Nedris. God, I don't know how to spell Nedris. It's okay though. Star Wars. This is deep. This is really deep. It's very coincidental too. Maybe it's connected to the fact that maybe it's during the same era.
Maybe.
Oh god, okay.
I'm looking at an image now from what they wear. And hang on.
So
open image, a new tab.
And then compare it to the Padawan's costumes in Jedi Temple Challenge. It's very, very it's like the exact same costume, a similar costume, similar design.
So this is what they're wearing, from what I can tell. Whoops, that went black. Hang on a second.
Yes. Do a side by side, just to. Can you do a side by side?
There we go. Perfect. So that's them there, and.
Yep.
The next one, what was the Disney?
Let me post a picture in. Oh, here's a good one actually. Actually, is there a better? There might be a better one actually.
Okay, we'll
Jedi
there.
Training Academy.
Haha, there you go. So that's from the show. Disney Jedi Training Academy.
Yeah. Yeah, just Google that. I'll let you find it yourself. It's hard to find a good picture, but you'll know what I mean.
Oh, I see the character. Hang on.
Yeah, Nedris. Nedris wears that same exact costume, and I found it really interesting. So maybe it's during the same era of like. I'm telling you, there's some deep Star Wars lore that's very obscure that no one knows about. Like I pointed this out, like.
Yeah, there's.
Yeah, there's another good image of it.
So there's her, and there's them. Interesting.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I think I found it. Here's Oh, never. Shoot. Never mind. Nedris.
God, even down to like the little fanny pack thing. Not fanny pack, the little like thigh pack they have. Huh. Very interesting.
I'm trying to find the characters. Let's spell the character name right. Maybe it's on Wikipedia. Jedi Training Trials of the Temple.
2018, yep.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a couple of them that actually have the same look.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts then on...
So my theory is that maybe Jedi Temple Challenge takes place around the same era as Jedi Training Trials of the Temple. The version from 2016 onward.
So you're saying after Return of the Jedi, like around there?
Like after Return, like yes, like basically like sequel era, like your early sequel era, because we do see Kylo Ren.
Okay, fair.
Right, and Ben Solo becomes Kylo Ren at an early age, so saying like...
And it's possible Kelleran Beck probably survived. I mean, we're going really far and deep in on this one, but it's possible that Kelleran Beck survived really far into the sequel trilogy. It is. But it goes back to how the fuck did he know? Like, how in God's name did he know, and who are his friends? Like, yes, it could be the droids. That
was my first thought because I know the show pretty well.
Right.
So
it could also be.
Who else does he know, right?
I mean, that would give him a Naboo ship. I mean, other than Jar Jar Binks.
Did he? I mean, like because like the guards knew who he was, right? The Naboo guards. So maybe Padme and Jar Jar both.
They didn't know who he was. They knew his name, but they know that was Kelleran Beck.
They heard of him.
True.
So they knew of him. Did Padme and Jar Jar know of him, and maybe that's how they found out?
Maybe.
I mean, actually, no. Padme's still alive at this point.
She
remember?
is, yeah.
Because we see her looking at the Coruscant building on fire in episode 3. There was like a... So she's like on a planet still at this point.
She is. She's in her apartment. Her home is right across like the way from the Jedi Temple. So she got to see it burning and catching on fire.
He could know Padme.
Maybe she warned him and said...
Maybe she told some of the Jedi. Because she probably knew some of them through like Obi-Wan and Anakin, so...
I mean, she...
probably warned some of them.
She fought alongside them in the Clone Wars, like we saw it in the show.
Exactly.
So...
Exactly.
It's very, very possible. I don't know, man. It's just... It's a very cool scene.
It'd be wild if Natalie Portman showed up in that flashback.
I know, right?
Like...
I mean...
from like the back of her head or something, like...
I mean, it's Disney. They made her come back for Thor Ragnarok. I don't see why she wouldn't come back for this. Just saying.
Very true. Very true. They have her number. They have her on speed dial.
They do.
I should get freaking Hayden and Ewan McGregor back. And now Ahmed Best. So, crossing fingers for Natalie Portman.
Like, so that scene. It's a great scene that we get to see. What pissed me off the most about that scene, not that scene particularly, but the fans, how they reacted to it, how...
I think it parallels, like, the Mando part really well, in my opinion.
Like when he got saved when he was a little kid, you mean?
I mean, when the first generation of like teachers basically saving the next generation of students,
Right.
basically.
Yeah, and they're saving the other foundling. So it's about both of them. But
Yeah. So.
but my whole, because obviously I like to shop around the forums whenever stuff drops, just to see like what people complain about, but also see what cool theories are out there. And the amount of people who complain about it being a random Jedi and not a famous Jedi was like annoying. But also, which I couldn't figure out, was why people were upset it wasn't Mace Windu that saved Grogu.
Because he's dead at this point.
Right? It's like
he already died.
Like,
why would he
big time
resurrect
died.
himself?
And so here's what just boggles my mind. These same fans could not accept the fact that somehow Palpatine returned, right? They couldn't accept that whatsoever. And they bashed the sequel trilogy for having bad writing and blah, blah, blah. But yet... Oh, and they also say that there's no consequences in the prequel trilogy because, we assume Chewbacca dies, but he doesn't. Spoilers. And we assume, like, C-3PO...
Lots enough.
We assume C-3PO got his memory wiped, but he kind of didn't, So they say there's no consequences. But if Mace Windu survived, that would be the ultimate no consequences type of thing, I would assume, right? Like, am I wrong? Like...
Yeah. Sorry, I just want to go back to Jedi Training Trials of the Temple real quick. I found a plot synopsis on Wikipedia.
Okay.
I linked it in Discord.
Plot synopsis. Yep. Jedi Training Trials of the Temple. Jedi Trials of the Temple is a guest experience at various Disney theme parks. It opened in Walt Disney World Disney Hollywood Studios in Florida on December 1st, 2015. After the park closing due to COVID-19 restrictions from March, blah, 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 blah. Let's go to synopsis. A group of surviving Jedi, including a Jedi Master, 3 Padawans, and a group of younglings chosen beforehand, visit a Jedi temple. The younglings are taught a basic combination of lightsaber moves. Then they use the Force to open the doors to the temple. In the original version of the show, apparitions of Darth Vader and the Seventh Sister then appear, representing the Jedi's fears. Half the younglings fight Vader, while the other fight the Seventh Sister. In later versions, Vader was instead joined by Kylo Ren. After the pair of villains have been defeated, they are forced pushed back into the temple after the younglings are told to put their lightsabers down. However, one of the Padawans worries that her worst fear, initially Darth Maul, will come out next. At the moment, an apparition of Maul appears and engages the Padawan in a lightsaber duel.
That Padawan is Nedris. She does have a character name. I don't know why I didn't specify that here, but her name is Nedris.
She defeats him. Jedi Maul retreats. That sounds very...
Others like you have you Jedi Temple Challenge. Because of the costumes. I'm telling you, they're connected. They're connected some way.
That sounds very much like World Between Worlds a little bit, with like the apparitions showing up, and also Empire Strikes Back with Luke on Dagobah. He's the apparition of Vader. Sounds very, very similar.
You should actually watch some of the videos that's on YouTube. It's really cool.
They look pretty dope, I gotta say.
Yeah.
And the costumes look good. But yeah, so who's the mystery friend that's helping him out with this? We don't know yet.
I swear if it's Jar Jar.
It's gonna be Jar Jar, and fans are either gonna love it and hate
or
it.
if it's another well-known Jedi.
Or another who else from Naboo that we know? Bail Organa, maybe? He's not from Naboo, but he was with the Naboo. He was on Naboo for... It could... Okay.
I mean... Yeah.
Honestly,
yeah, I know he was on
because he served... He fought in the Clone Wars also, kinda.
We see Bail Organa on Coruscant in Bad Batch.
And we also saw Bail Organa show up to the Jedi Temple when he sees the fires and stuff, and they say you have to leave. And then he sees the little Jedi kid get killed, and then he takes off. Who's to say Bail Organa didn't warn Jedi he knew about it? Now, why would he be in a Naboo? Why would he get like a Naboo freaking like ship? Probably the closest one he can get his hands on. You know, maybe that's the only thing I can think of. But maybe Bail Antilles, Jimmy Smith is still running around as Bail Antilles. You know. They still.
That's a deep cut.
They still got his number. They still got him. Like they got him for Obi-Wan. So.
Yeah. Speed dial.
Like no reason why he wouldn't be there. Or we won't know who his friends are until next season, because
Yeah, knowing because we did see some of the flashbacks from this sequence in last season of Mando or Book of Boba Fett.
Exactly. So we kind of saw it.
Ahsoka, actually, not next season, but maybe Ahsoka.
Maybe. I really enjoyed how the clones looked on live action again.
Mark Morrison reprises his voice role as the clones.
Yes, that's amazing. That is so.
It was really jarring to hear after watching
Bad Batch.
The Bad Batch episode.
I agree.
After getting used to D. Bradley Baker voicing them, it's like really jarring to hear back to back.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree with that statement. But it still was kind of cool. It still was kind of cool. Tamora Morrison came back. But it was a cool scene. It finally told us who saved Grogu, but I think it just gave us a lot more questions than we wanted. Like, who his friends are, where to get the ship from, yada yada blah blah blah. But what I liked is it ended with Grogu getting more bling, getting a bit more another armor piece, which I thought was cool. Which still cements that he's going to be a Mandalorian, and that this show could just be about Grogu because the show is called The Mandalorian, and it could just be about Grogu's origin story, basically. Doing Mandalorian like shit. What were your thoughts on him getting his new little piece of armor?
I thought it was really weird at first because I thought he would get like a helmet because he already has chainmail armor. I don't know why he would need that unless it will be implied that there will be like a. Oh
God, we're probably gonna see this little
shooting, like an attempt.
We probably are going to see this little bastard get shot at some point. Oh, no. I just realized that.
Yeah.
Jesus. That's not cool. And, they wouldn't... I don't think he'd get a helmet yet, only because he can't speak the words.
Yeah.
They only get the helmet when, they actually say the words of, the Mandalore and stuff, so...
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, excuse me.
It's weird because the Foundlings don't have chest armor pieces. They only have the helmet and just the jumpsuit.
I thought Ragnar had a chest piece.
I didn't see a chest piece on Ragnar that I remember.
You might be right on that. Hang on, let me...
And he was being inducted.
Come on. You're right. He doesn't have any chest. He doesn't have any chest armor at all. It's just a helmet. Yeah. All of them. It's just a helmet. So why give Grogu armor? Huh. Maybe
Grogu's that special.
Maybe the armor gets reforged into a helmet later, I guess.
Or maybe he sees Grogu as a future Jedi Mandalorian.
Maybe. Because, I'm looking at a screenshot right now, and, there's, 3 younglings in shot. None of them have armor, just a helmet. Or not youngling, foundling, sorry. Huh. Very interesting. Very interesting. What were your thoughts on Bo-Katan being leader of the war party and getting back the...
Oh, man. I mean, she's already a good leader, so I wasn't surprised there, honestly.
So there are some comments I've heard about this season of The Mandalorian that I want to get your take on real quick. And one of the big comments I heard was that Din Djarin is taking like a back seat. He's no longer the main character, and they're letting other characters drive this season. What are your thoughts on that? Because I kind of don't agree with that statement.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
So one of the things I've heard is that Din Djarin is no longer the main character of his own story. He's taking a back seat, and other people are now the main character or the focus of this.
Well, arguably, like, this show is not called Din Djarin, a Star Wars story. You know what I mean? It's called The Mandalorian. It's not specifically referring to Din Djarin specifically. It could be referring to King Boba Fett. He's technically Mandalorian. Mm-hmm. It can be referred to Grogu, for all we know, because he's going to be a Mandalorian, probably. Mm-hmm. Bo-Katan is another character. So like, this show could not just be about, like, Din Djarin. I mean, yes, he's on the list of Mandalorians, that's one of the focuses, but I don't think the show is solely focused on Din. You know what I mean?
I agree. Like a lot of fans, a lot of the things I've been reading, like on Reddit and other like message boards, it's not message boards, but other parts of the interwebs, was that fans are upset that he's not doing bounty hunter stuff. They're saying, oh, it's called The Mandalorian, he should be bounty hunting, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, he's not a bounty hunter anymore. That world is over. Like, he doesn't do that. Like, Grogu was his last bounty, and that was about it. He hasn't been a bounty hunter since season 1. So why do they still want him to be like a bounty hunter in season 3? You know what I mean? Like, it makes no sense. But anyway, that's just neckbeards being neckbeards. What are your thoughts on Bo-Katan getting her mythosaur pauldron?
Reminds me of when Din first got his Beskar.
Mm-hmm. Same.
And, yeah. It's very interesting to hear also that, Armor didn't believe Bo when she said that she saw Mythosaur.
So that's my question. Did she not believe her, or was she just kind of like... She did answer her very, very weirdly. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, it obviously affected Bo-Katan because, 1, she wanted the Mythosaur on her pauldron, you know. 2, she's taking wearing the helmet very seriously, like very damn seriously now.
Yeah.
To the point when they're all having food, she even asked, like, Din, she's like, what do you do when we want to eat? And he's like, how do we eat in front of people? He's like, you don't. You just walk away and, you know, eat somewhere else. And she got the honor of, like, staying by the fire, which was cool. So she's taking it serious. It affected her. But it's like, did the armor not believe her? Or was she just saying that just to, you know, like, I don't want to say humor her, but it's like, you know, when you lie to someone, but you're not really lying to them? It's like, sure, Millie, I know you have a poster of Kylo Ren on your wall. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, it sounds like they're lying, but they're not. Like, they're trying to tell you, don't tell anybody else, or stop. You know what I mean? Like, it's...
Sure.
Like...
It's kind of like a sacred thing that no one talks about.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like, maybe it's one of those, like, they know the Mythosaur's still around, but it's like, sure.
They can't talk about it.
Yeah. Sure, you saw the Mythosaur. Yeah, I believe you. Yeah. You know, when you walked away, you see many amazing things. You definitely saw the Mythosaur. Yeah, sure, buddy. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Like, at least that's what I got from it when the way she was answering her. You know? Anything we missed in this episode? I think we covered most of it. We went down a rabbit hole as usual.
The majority of this episode was the flashback, I think.
It was.
Because this episode was pretty short at like 30 minutes.
Yes.
So.
The thing I always liked about The Mandalorian, even like other live action Star Wars stuff, is when they're short, it feels like a lot. Like we get a lot in those short minutes. But closing thoughts in this episode, favorite parts you didn't like, anything of that nature?
I'm gonna be biased again. My favorite part was Ahmed Best.
Yeah. I
think that's everyone's favorite parts. Was the Ahmed Best flashback, and I really hope we see him again, maybe in another show. I really hope I really hope they make a show about Kelleran Beck, because he already got the Jedi Temple Challenge show, which is free to watch on YouTube, by the way, and you should link that playlist in the description for you guys to check out, because he is now an important character in all of Star Wars. So
that's true. That's very true.
I think
I love that scene, but not. Yes, I love that scene because Ahmed Best came back, but also because, all right, it's not a famous Jedi who saved Grogu. Awesome, we can move past this. It's somebody else.
The reason that Grogu's alive at this point.
Yes, but I'm just happy it's not someone like uber famous. Other than, again, I would have been happy with Quinlan Vos. If it was Quinlan Vos, cool, you know.
Same.
But I'm happy that it was Ahmed Best who saved him. Welcome back, Ahmed Best. We missed you. Sorry for all the assholes who made you feel like shit many years ago. You did not deserve it. Any predictions for the episode showing tomorrow?
I don't know. I don't have any.
We are halfway there.
I guess this is why Dave Filoni doesn't want to name episodes in advance, because they don't want us to speculate too much, which I guess is a smart idea, because like below expectations we get excited and
True.
we get surprised, like freaking Ahmed Best as Kelleran Beck, like that whole thing. Still can't stop thinking about it, and I'm very glad Ahmed Best is proud of posting his character on Instagram. So
same. I wonder if they'll announce that at Celebration. Maybe
freaking better.
That he might get his own spin-off show. Maybe, you know?
Maybe they'll acknowledge the overwhelming positivity over this character and maybe sprinkle some tease there.
Maybe.
Fully. That's what I can see, because I feel like it'll be too early to announce, because there's no way they planned this in advance like that. There'd be loads of positivity around this character.
Or, I mean, honestly, like, it could have been... They basically sat him down like, listen, we're going to give you a cameo in episode 4. You're going to save Grogu. You're going to reprise your character from the Jedi training stuff. If people like this and we get super positive results and comments, then at Celebration we'll announce we're doing a full show. But if people don't like it and it's super negative, maybe we'll hold back on it a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, or they probably...
I think a show about him and Quinlan
saving
Jedi would be really neat. Like, maybe like an official sequel to the Obi-Wan series.
And for fuck's sake, if Quinlan Vos is going to be in this, give him a fucking beard so I can be Quinlan Vos in Saber Guild.
Sure he will.
For fuck's sake. On that note, friends, that is our episode for tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for hanging out. If you guys want to find us on social media, please look us up on Twitter at Ilum Radio. Look us up on Instagram at Ilum Radio, on TikTok at Ilum Radio, and of course here on YouTube at Ilum Radio. If you have a specific Star Wars topic you would like us to talk about on this show, please send us an email to ilumradiopodcast@gmail.com. If you like this episode, you made it this far, like it, subscribe to us, say hello in the comments, interact with us in some way. It really helps us out. Anyway, my friends. Oh, and if you want to find us on our socials, Millie, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at me_Halpern and Instagram at Millie_Halpern.
And if they want to find that new club you're part of, where can they find that too? I know you said it yesterday, but let's tell them one more time.
Alright, so if you guys want to follow my new Saber Guild temple, Chandrila Temple, you can follow Chandrila Temple on Facebook at Saber Guild Chandrila Temple. It's an easy search on there. And on Instagram at SG Chandrila Temple.
If you guys want to find me, you will find me at The Bearded Menace, as you can see down below on Twitter. You can find me on Dave the Bearded Menace on Instagram. Dave the Bearded Menace also on TikTok. Well, for however long TikTok survives. If you want to hang out with me on a live stream, you can find me on twitch.tv/Dave the Bearded Menace, where you'll generally find me Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern working on a model kit or some Warhammer 40k stuff or doing some type of art. You might find Millie in there also derailing chat as she does with some Star Wars knowledge and bombs. Occasionally, you know, if she doesn't have to work too early the next day. But that is it for us, my friends. As always, be easy, stay frosty, and may the Force be with you. Peace.